nomads.
I know that.
You know, they're not going to be worried about where they're living in 2 years because they don't even know if they're going to be on the team in 2 years.
That's
so
true.
If that thought is in the mind of any player, then his mind is in the wrong place.
Well,
you know, there's only a couple of guys who should be thinking about that. Carr being one of them, Khalil Mack maybe being another. Who knows? I don't know when Khalil Mack is a free agent, but he might wind up going away from them and signing somewhere else. And if it's that big a concern with some of these big money guys, go buy a house in Vegas. Fine, you're sorted.
You don't want to live in Vegas.
What's wrong with Vegas?
You would never want to live in Vegas.
Why?
First of all, it's too hot.
Fun town.
Second of all, it's not much of a town except to gamble.
Fun town.
It's when we went to Vegas a bunch of years ago.
Yeah.
We were there literally for 48 hours.
I had a good time.
And if you don't gamble, what do you do?
I don't know. I was gambling.
You were gambling. so I'm just saying. But
I was gambling.
I mean,
That's
I
what you do.
I know you won a couple of bucks.
I won more than a couple of bucks.
Well, you don't have to announce
I did pretty well.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
Played some poker. Maybe didn't do as well on blackjack, but did pretty well at the poker table.
I know you did. You and Ken. So.
I did better than he did, but
yeah, I know that's not hard.
That's life.
Anyway, the Oakland Raiders, going to move to Vegas. They'll be there for 25 years. I'm not sure if Al Davis.
That's a maybe.
I don't know if Al Davis would have taken that deal. I know he's not here.
Making money. So, yeah, he would have.
Money. I think he would have figured a way out.
I think he probably would have taken that deal because it's guaranteeing him oodles of cash.
Yeah.
And he had no allegiance. He liked to claim he had an allegiance to Oakland, but he didn't because he moved the team to L.A. Then he moved it back to Oakland, and then he tried to sell it. Oh, I'm an Oakland guy, and here's the fans, and it's a bunch of crap.
I know that.
Al Davis was out for Al Davis. How much money could Al Davis make? That's all he cared about.
And the San Diego Chargers the same way. They're playing
that move has backfired spectacularly.
Oh, God. That's going to – I can't wait till no one sees them in L.A. I don't know. L.A.'s not a football town to begin with.
We shall see.
Anyway, brother, I guess Joe Ritter didn't have the guts to come in and defend his Buffalo Bills.
Don't kick him when he's down.
I feel, he's always bragging about his
First of all, he can't defend what happened yesterday. He can't. The Los Angeles Chargers scored 54 points against this team. There's no way to defend that.
I'm just saying.
Why should he defend it when the Buffalo Bills didn't do any defending yesterday?
That's true. Let's get into let's see. You know what? Let's get into the Knicks. The Knicks were playing well for a while. They actually are playing well.
Yeah.
Playing better at home than away, which is...
That's every NBA team.
But our guy, Porzingis, they're starting to beat up on him a little bit.
He's got a little issue with his elbow.
But he's also getting beat up. Like, they know he's not going to... he's not...
But I'm not buying that as an excuse. You know why? Because if you're an opposing coach or an opposing team in the NBA, the second that Carmelo Anthony gets traded, you know that Porzingis is not only the Knicks' first option, he's the Knicks' second option too. So I'm not buying this this whole nonsense about, hey, he was so great in the first 10 games, but now teams have figured him out. Well, what was there to figure out? His game hasn't changed. He's getting more shots now, and now he's more the focal point of the offense. That was expected.
Yeah.
There's no surprise there. The day Carmelo Anthony got traded, every story about Carmelo Anthony's trade said in some way, shape, or form, and now the Knicks are Kristaps Porzingis' team. So where's the surprise? So if you need, if Porzingis is 100% healthy and playing the way he's capable of playing, there aren't a lot of people that can stop him. He's 7'3". Right. He can shoot for 3-pointers. That's a guy that you need to defend all over the court.
It seems like underneath the basket, he's not.
He needs to get bigger. He needs to add some size and he needs to add some muscle. But he's 22 years old. His age works against him there.
Yeah.
Every human needs to grow into their body. And that happens. It's not going to happen until you get to be about 22 or 23 or so.
That's what I did. I grew into my body.
You overgrew into your body. But that's what needs to happen. And it's not a process that can be rushed. Could Porzingis be in the weight room a little bit more? Maybe. But you know what? This kid worked his butt off in the offseason. He was in the gym. He was doing everything he could to get bigger, stronger, And he had injury issues last year, and he was trying to kind of build his body up so he wouldn't be susceptible or as susceptible to injuries this season. He's getting beat up. He's getting beat up by big guys.
Yeah, I know.
So that's something he's going to have to deal with. And I'll tell you what, the way not to deal with it is to run to the perimeter and start shooting jump shots. Because when you're 7'3", you need to be as close to the basket as possible. And I know he can shoot jumpers and three-pointers, and that's fine. It's part of his game. But don't make that the majority of your game.
Right, because then they know you're out there, and
they'll let you shoot. When you're on the perimeter, if you're 7'3", hey, go ahead, shoot the three-pointer. Yeah. So, yeah, we know you can make it, but fine. I'd rather let you take a three-pointer where you're going to hit maybe 35% as opposed to getting a pass underneath the basket where you're going to shoot 60%. I'll take those odds all day. So he needs to establish himself down low, but he also needs to get healthy and heal up. And I don't understand the one thing he said. The Knicks apparently wanted him to go for X-rays on his elbow, and he says he doesn't want to. And the reasoning was I hate to be blunt, but his reasoning was idiotic. His reasoning was that he doesn't want to go get an X-ray on an off day because his elbow is starting to feel better, and it's going to be nothing. And then he's going to look back at it and say, "Well, on my day off, I lost an hour and a half of sleep."
That's not a good answer.
Hey, you know what? Schedule the X-ray in the afternoon then.
That's not a good answer, my friend.
It's dumb. I mean, it's almost like Noah Syndergaard. Telling the Mets, no, I don't want to go for an MRI. My shoulder's fine. Just give me the ball and let me pitch. And then the next start, boom, his shoulder is blown out, or his whatever it was that he got hurt, his whatever
inner shoulder,
labrum or whatever. But it's that kind of obstinance and stupidity that causes bigger injuries. The great thing about being a professional athlete is you have free medical. And
right,
it's not just free medical. It's free medical to do any test you want.
I would check myself out all the time.
And these guys are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, and I don't need this. And that. Dude, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Do like what I've been telling my brother for a year. Go to the doctor.
I did. And what did we find out?
Finally, and you got a diagnosis.
Yeah, I did.
See that?
And nothing's wrong with me. I have no blood clots.
That's debatable.
I have nothing that's bad.
That's debatable.
I have a couple of things that are wrong, but it's not bad.
That's debatable.
Where you think I'm going to be dead in 20 minutes.
That's debatable.
So blah, blah, poo-pa to you.
Debatable.
So I'm just saying that. So anyway, by the way, ex-Knick David Lee has retired.
Oh, did he?
He is...
I missed that one.
Yeah, he just...
Why?
Didn't say, really.
Who was he playing for? I don't even know.
Let's see.
I thought he was out of the league. I know he was playing for Golden State at some point.
Yeah, he did. He was playing for the Spurs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He announced his end of the career with an Instagram post.
Of course.
An epic night celebrating retirement with my friends and family. Thank you to my amazing fiancée, Carolyn Wozniacki. Is that how you say her name? Wozniacki.
Oh, he's engaged to her?
Yeah.
That's why he retired. He's going to live off of her.
Yeah, why not?
Why wasn't it? She's the tennis player.
Yeah, she's cute.
Well, yeah, she was going out with Rory McIlroy, the golfer.
That's right.
They had that big breakup, and it was ugly and nasty.
Yeah, that's why you don't break up on Twitter.
Well, that's not why. I mean, it would have been ugly and nasty either way. But yeah, it was that was not a good situation.
Yeah. So
but good for David Lee. He's engaged.
So we'll see
what's
happening with
Porzingis.
You know, I think this will be a short-lived thing, and he'll come back and realize that. He's got to get a little under.
Well, Jeff Hornacek, and you see it in the Daily News. Jeff Hornacek was comparing Porzingis' slump to Aaron Judge, and he said, "Well, didn't Aaron Judge have a slump for a while?" And it's like, it's not the same thing.
It's different.
The Yankees can win without Aaron Judge. They can win with Aaron Judge going 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Because if Severino pitches a good game, or if Gary Sanchez hits a home run, if Porzingis isn't scoring 30, the Knicks aren't winning.
That's true.
And it's not like Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to step in and score 30. He's been a disaster, and
he has.
He's had 2 good games, and that contract is ridiculous. The Knicks have signed the 2 free agents. The Knicks have signed in the last 2 years: Joakim Noah and Tim Hardaway Jr. Both of these signings have been atrocious. The Knicks need to get better in free agency. I mean, it's Tim
Phil's
they
gone,
overpaid
so-
Tim Hardaway to such an extent that the Hawks couldn't match the contract. All right, they just couldn't because the Hawks executives said, if we match his contract, we're morons. The Knicks offered him something like $6 million a year more than the Hawks did, and so the Hawks, all right, fine, take it easy,
Yep.
go back to New York. Joke him no, if the Knicks could get out of that contract today, believe me, they would. He's just coming back from illegal substance suspension that had him out for the first, I think it was dozen games this season. So, and they're trying to see how he's going to fit back into the rotation. There was actually a decent story from Berman of the Post in I think it was today's paper or maybe yesterday's paper. I don't remember. But about Michael Beasley, who he was supposed to come in and be a guy for the Knicks. Because after Carmelo was traded, it turned into Beasley started talking a lot, and he's always been a big talker. He's a guy who was a second overall pick in the 2008 draft. Called himself, and I'm quoting here, a walking bucket. All right,
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, it means he can score at will.
Is that what it means?
That's what it means. And he's barely played. The Knicks have gone to be a more defensive oriented team. So Lance Thomas is getting more minutes. Even Doug McDermott, whose presence I openly mocked after the Knicks made that trade because I still don't think he's much of an NBA player. But his defense has been up to par, let's say. So he's getting some minutes. But Beasley, let's put it this way: Beasley with this team should be able to score, and should be able to get 15 a game if you get him some minutes and some shots. He's that kind of player. He's a dynamic. He can be a dynamic offensive player.
Has he gotten the coach angry?
No, he's a guy who. Let me go back. I'll go way back here because I actually interviewed Beasley back when he was. Man, how long ago was this? He might have been just like a freshman in high school because it was at one of those ABCD camps.
Okay.
That I forget which sneaker company runs ABCD. I want to say it's Nike. And this was right around when LeBron James was turning pro. And so my newspaper sent me out to ABCD and said, all right, go find us who's the next LeBron. So I found the 4 kids at the camp who hadn't even played high school ball yet, but they were good enough to be invited to this elite level camp. Beasley was one of them. Who was the other? There was another kid who was a guard. He was a son of a guy who played at Louisville. I can't remember his name. His last name was Smith. Nolan Smith, I think his name was. I think he wanted to play him for Duke. And there was another kid, a lefty shooter, a kid from California, from the suburbs, who another kid's great shot, but didn't have the game to match. And I don't even remember who the 4th kid was. But Beasley, I was talking to because he and Smith. He wound up living at Smith's house because Beasley was from the inner city in Baltimore, and back then the inner city in Baltimore was not a great place to be. But even during that interview, he was talking big, and he was going to be the next LeBron, and watch out for me when I go to the NBA, and blah blah blah. So obviously, I remembered the name, and when this kid got drafted, 2nd overall, he went to Kansas State, and the only reason he went there was because Bob Huggins was there, and it wouldn't surprise me if some money changed hands. But it was allegedly, but it was, he played there for a year, big draft pick, and then got to the NBA. But then apparently developed a certain affinity for marijuana. So he's had this reputation about being a pothead, and it's affected his game. And like I said, he can score, but he doesn't like to play defense very much.
I think that might be his bigger problem.
So
anyway, brother, we're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. I'm Rob Leonard. He's Tim Leonard, 516-572-7440. Don't forget, we're on the iHeartRadio app.
Do you like professional wrestling?
What?
Sports entertainment?
What?
Well, do I have a show for you?
What?
The Squared Circle, Mondays at 4 p.m.
Oh, yeah!
We talk all things professional wrestling.
Woo!
From the past
That's hard time!
to the present.
Yes!
So listen up as hosts Justin Greenberg and Anthony Tartamella bring you The Squared Circle, Mondays at 4 p.m.